What is your favorite Star Wars game, Alec? Of all the Star Wars games you ever played, what's your favorite?
My actual favorite?
Yeah.
Oh. KOTOR.
KOTOR. I wonder.
I was going to give a funny answer.
I wonder if that's right. You're like, I'm trying to think. What's the worst Star Wars game?
Yeah, I was trying to think of something mobile.
It's actually the worst Star Wars game. Oh, the Galaxy of Heroes, which is just like the bullshit. That's an EA game, by the way. Single-player Star Wars games were a big deal. Like KOTOR, KOTOR 2, Shadows of the Empire, amazing. Jedi Outcast, fucking X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Rogue Squadron. Like,
yeah, when a Star Wars game came out, you gave a shit.
Yeah, totally. You
really gave a shit.
You paid attention.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some bad ones. What's one terrible Star Wars game? Masters of Terrakasi. That's one. That fighting game. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Yes. God, that was terrible.
Yes.
You win. Easier than shooting womprats back home.
Oh,
Kinect.
And the Kinect Star Wars game.
Kinect Star Wars.
So there have been some bad Star Wars games, but not many. In fact, most Star Wars games that we've had over the last, like, 20 years or whatever have actually been pretty good. And in fact, some of them have been downright amazing. Some of them are the best games, some of the best games ever made, like KOTOR, for example. So Star Wars is a big deal, right? And when EA got the rights to Star Wars, the exclusive rights to Star Wars, we were all obviously thrilled because we knew that that sacred license was in excellent hands. So
Absolutely.
It's stunning to hear, stunning, that they have dropped the ball on yet another Star Wars game with Amy Hennig's Project Ragtag now officially on the shelf and Amy no longer at EA. Who could have seen this coming? Who?
Not us. So look, I think the reason that we look back on the Star Wars games of yore with such fondness is because they really capitalized on the tremendous world building that Star Wars has done for the last 30-40 years of that universe, and told really compelling stories within the universe. With Amy Hennig at the helm of what this Project Ragtag game
was.
So it was originally what Visceral was working on before they stopped being Visceral.
Before they got EA'd. Amy Hennig, by the way, is actually a super serious deal. Like, if you haven't heard of Amy Hennig,
cover that.
She's done quite a bit of work, and the first game that you might have heard of that she worked on a few before this, but the first big one was the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver series. She was the writer, producer,
was she?
And director on that series. True story. Anyone that checked out the little outro song yesterday, they know what we're talking about. Soul Reaver was just fucking incredible. One of the best story games ever. To this day, it still is just magnificent. And she headed that up. She did the Legacy of Kain, she did Blood Omen, she did Soul Reaver 2. And then after that, you know what she did? She did a little game called Uncharted. She went over to Naughty Dog and she headed up the Uncharted series, number 1, 2, and 3. And then she wasn't there for number 4. But, like, come on now. Uncharted, also some of the best games ever made. This woman has some serious cred.
Yeah, she's got some runs on the board.
She does.
And that's a cricket reference. Her being at the head of this team that was working on what was going to be a single player, really narrowly focused, linear, sort of, basically something like Uncharted. A linear, story-based... Uncharted for Star Wars.
Yeah.
The prospect of that was really enticing. If they had actually been able to deliver something like that, and do it justice, it would have been an incredible experience to sort of live in that world and experience a new story. I think it was from the perspective of some scoundrel. And
that kind of thing.
It was all very Han Solo.
It was. Like the movie, which everyone loved.
Yeah, it did really well.
Everyone loved that movie.
I think they actually lost 50 million on that.
Did they? They lost money on
money on Solo.
No way.
At least so far.
Comment section, what are your theories on why the new Star Wars films aren't as popular as the old ones? So they were working on this Project Ragtag. Now, it was reported by a number of sources, including Jason Schreier of Kotaku, that it was in development hell. There was just all sorts of problems with it. Now, obviously, Amy's a tremendously talented individual, but, you know, that doesn't mean that everything she touches turns to gold, and we were hearing that this project wasn't in the best shape, okay? We heard this around the same time that this project actually got shuttered by EA. Now, announcing it, EA said that they were pivoting the development of the game, and when they announced that, they said that the market was not interested in single-player games the way it used to be a number of years ago.
Am I so out of touch? No. It's the children who are wrong.
That's right. So essentially what they were saying is they wanted to take it like open world, they wanted to take it multiplayer, they wanted to take it monetizable, and all the classic EA bullshit. So that actually started, all this narrative that we hear these days about like single player games are dead, that actually started from this Visceral Studios shut down, and from Amy Hennig's project being like pivoted to something else. So then when that went down, we were all really curious, like what actually happened with this? Like, there were just lots of question marks. We knew that they weren't working on it anymore, and Visceral was gone. Rip Visceral, by the way, huge tragedy. But we didn't really know what was going on outside of that, especially we didn't know what was happening with Amy Hennig.
Now, we do know what happened to Amy Hennig. Speaking to Eurogamer, she goes on to detail her departure, which was as far back as January. When asked about whether she's working at EA, her response was, "I'm not. I have not worked at EA since January. Technically, legally, yes. This is the problem. It was hard enough for them, but people were immediately asking them, is Amy working with you? And the answer was, well, we're in negotiations. Like, it was sort of the soft pedal answer.
Fact is, she was not working with EA anymore, and she's not worked with them since January. This is good news, to be honest.
This is news as well.
This is actually good news. This is also news, as Alex said.
News.
Alec has decreed that this is news. No, but seriously, this is a good thing. I know this sounds really weird, but like, Amy Hennig, please don't work at EA. Come on now, work at a good studio that'll actually let you make something great and will have your back on this. Don't work for the likes of EA. The fact that she's going out and doing something else is interesting. She actually went on to say, I'm working independently and staying independent. I just started my own small little independent studio and I'm consulting with some people. I'm hoping to bring some people on board. I would love to have a little company of about 6 to 8 people, 15 at the most, and do some more projects, do some VR stuff. I'm consulting with some VR companies and doing a ton of research because I haven't played a lot to immerse myself in it. Now, personally, I'm really excited to see that a lot of talent like Amy Hennig is striking out and creating her own thing. Who knows what this could be in the future? You know, like with what she is capable of, if she has the right team of people around her, then it could be amazing things. But what does this mean for Star Wars, Alec? Tell me, Alec, what does this mean for Star Wars?
It means we are going to get another cookie-cutter open-world Star Wars game.
Yes, it does unfortunately mean that.
There'll be big towers where you need to climb to see more of the map.
Yeah, totally.
There will be bandit camps that will give you something. Yes, that's right, of sand people to like, you know, cover territory.
Totally. Blaster upgrades with like, you know, you have to find the upgrades in like chests scattered in the Dune Sea.
It's just going to be the same shit.
Well,
I'm really becoming quite fatigued by open world games.
Big time.
But
that's what the market wants, Alec.
Oh, of course.
They want mobile Command and Conquer, and they want open world games. That have loot boxes. Sorry, Soderlund.
I didn't know what I wanted.
Yeah, sorry. I'll fucking tell you what you want, okay?
What a dickhead.
So speaking specifically to the topic of what's happening with the Star Wars game, because that obviously is a huge question, she says, I'm not doing anything with Star Wars, and who knows what the future may hold, but that project is on the shelf now. The Vancouver studio, who took all the work that Visceral were doing, they took that. They're working on something pretty different now, she says. It's really not, you know, once you go open world, it's such a different game to the one we were making. Everybody loved what we were doing, and I'd love to see us resurrect that somehow, but it's complicated. So she knows what's going on at Vancouver. They took the work, the foundation, the assets that were created over at Visceral, and instead of running with that and creating a linear single-player narrative-focused game, they're creating the open-world game that we knew they were creating. And it's kind of like, she's like, oh, it's such a shame. I was doing something cool, and now that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, that's super sad. Like, and for me, it just says the decision that Disney made to give exclusive rights to EA was just fucking atrocious. Back in the day, all these different Star Wars games that we listed at the start of this episode, they're all from different publishers. They're all from different studios. People could just get the rights. It's like Warhammer today, okay? Warhammer, most of the games are pretty garbage, okay? But you get a lot of them coming through, and some of them are really great, like Space Marine and Dawn of War and Total War Warhammer and all that sort of stuff. Like, you get some gems that come through because you've got different studios all working with the IP in different ways. When you've got this monolithic, stupid company, EA, and they have exclusive rights to it, we're literally being robbed of the chance to, like, enjoy games in this universe.
Yeah.
Fucked.
Yeah. Fucked. It's really unfortunate. And I was wondering if something would happen with that agreement on the back of what happened at the end of last year.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no, it looks like it's going to sort of maintain.
Still survived.
And I mean, look, they'd have to have more projects in the work. What do they got?
The other one they have actually is from Respawn, the guys that made Titanfall, and it was very well announced at EA Play 2018.
Oh my
Huge
god,
announcement.
that's right. How obnoxious was that woman?
I mean, someone's super excited about that man on PC, right? Yeah!
So,
I think she did the best she could. I feel like she gets a really bum rap, but I feel like EA would have just fed her the shittiest questions ever, and she just like did what she could with them. But you know, Vince Zampella, the guy that made Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and he made Titanfall under Respawn, he's now working on a Star Wars game. Now, will this be a single-player Star Wars shooter? Maybe.
No.
It could be, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure they're going to look at something bigger, monetizable, multiplayer, because that's what Respawn's native territory is. That's what they're comfortable with, and that's what EA like.
It'll be Star Wars Rivals on mobile.
Yes, it will be.
It'll be the most gender diverse group of people, and there's millions of them.
That's right.
That's the market they want. I think in Amy's voice and a tone of voice in what she's saying,
yeah.
there's a genuine sadness there.
There's a melancholic quality.
Very good word, Ralph.
Thank you very much. Word of the day. Toilet paper word of the day. Thank you very much.
Is that a thing, toilet paper word of the day?
No, I just made it up.
No, I've heard that's a thing.
Maybe in America.
That would be amazing. Imagine... Anyway, I won't get into it. I'm sure you understand the logistics of how toilet paper word of the day would work.
What's this word?
Yeah, that would be beautiful. You get excrement. Oh, that's where that goes. So yeah, look, there's obviously a bit of sadness in her voice. I think she probably was really proud of what she was building.
Yeah.
But the opportunity has been taken away from her for another, as I said, a cookie cutter open world game. I mean, you know, we can only wait and see what it's going to be. But
if Star Wars Battlefront 2 is anything to go by, I'm sure it's going to be excellent.